Let's go. What's up, everybody? It's Wes here, aka Seahawktopmist Prime. Welcome to the first live stream for the Seahawks Times. It's been an awesome journey so far. Just over 2 months with the channel, and it's growing rapidly thanks to everybody that has subscribed. Seahawks fans all over the nation. I'm having awesome conversations, and it's hella fun. I'm having a lot of fun. So my whole situation in terms of my videos and the production and the live streams will improve. I'm going to have a nice setup coming for everybody for all the videos. I didn't think it would take off this quickly. I'm going to admit that. But yeah, we got football today. We got the Hawks taking on the Niners in Santa Clara. Obviously a big game. I dropped some videos about what I think is going to happen in that game. But welcome, everybody. Drop who you are, where you're from in the comments. I really, really appreciate you joining me. Devin Martzel, what's up, brother? Go Hawks. Where you at, Devin? You in Washington? What's going on, man? I'm really excited this morning. This is going to be really dope today. I'm going to be streaming for a couple hours here at least before the game goes on, and I'll have some games going on in the background so we can comment on those games. We can talk whatever you guys want to talk about, football related. But yeah, this has been a lot of fun. If you're familiar with the channel, say something in the stream. If you're familiar with the Seahawks Times, if you're enjoying the Seahawks Times, give me some feedback there. But this is a great Q&A session. Ask me any questions you want. Ask me anything related to the game, football, whatever you guys want to talk about. That's what this is going to be for on Sunday mornings. We're going to get together here. We're going to talk football, everything related to that. I can cover whatever you like, fantasy, whatever's related to football. We can do it, guys. But thank you so much for chiming in. What do you guys think about the setup today for Seattle? What do you think Seattle's chances are of winning this football game? It's going to be a very interesting game, a ground and pound game, I think, against the Niners. I do think that Seattle should have a chance to edge out this game. But it's also possible that the Niners are just, too desperate and they pull out everything, the Statue of Liberty play, etc. But I got my coffee. I got my Seahawks jam on. Super Bowl champs, baby, 49. You know what it is. I got the Hawks here. We got Colorado Springs, Colorado. Shout out to you, Roxanne. You must have had a good week last week, Roxanne, walking around Colorado Springs, hopefully in some Seahawks gear, telling them what time it is, as they were so confident that Russell Wilson was going to destroy the Seattle Seahawks in his debut back in. Yeah, that didn't happen. Nobody knew who Geno Smith was. Daniel W. in the place. Seahawks, you know what time it is. Daniel, what's going on, man? Good to see you here. Yo, this is going to be an awesome day. I'm so excited. This is, guys, forgive me, this is my first live stream, so if there's any issues with connectivity or something, let me know. I'm using an older laptop. I'm just kind of doing this to see how it goes, but let me know how it goes. Shout outs to Roxanne Roll once again, Colorado Springs, Colorado. Actually, a friend who works in the auto business down there in Colorado Springs. He says it's really beautiful down there. Morning, going to be a great game. Daniel says, can't wait for your post-game vid. Always bringing the good vibes. I'm really, really about this football stuff, guys. I love the NFL. I love the Seattle Seahawks. I'm very passionate about it. Nothing you see here is fake for likes, for monetization. I'm a diehard Seahawks fan and always have been. I just talk about it so much with my friends and, talk at my wife about football. I decided, why don't I make a channel to discuss with the community, people who are really obsessed with football, what we think about it, what we love about the game, and, what we think can happen with this team in the future. And that's really why I did this. I was wearing my jersey, smiling. What jersey did you have on, Roxanne? You were wearing your jersey out? You were wearing your jersey around Colorado after we upset those boys. They came to Lumen Fields. They thought it was sweet. You know what I mean? And then, Geno Smith had other ideas in that game. And so much of the narrative in that Denver Broncos game was that the Seattle Seahawks, they got lucky. The Denver Broncos, they made mistakes. That's why the Seahawks won the game. No one wants to talk about the Seahawks signing and playing Mike Jackson in opening night. No one wants to talk about Mike Thriller Jackson coming up at corner and popping people. Nobody wants to talk about Geno Smith being signed off of the Chargers, just being discarded by the LA Chargers, who I'm sure they wish they had him against Mahomes there on Thursday night. But no one wants to talk about that. No one wants to talk about the Seahawks front office making huge, bold decisions to acquire draft picks. And yes, Russell Wilson, we all love Russell Wilson. Just call it what it is. But it was time. It was time for Russell Wilson to depart. It was a mutual breakup that happens. And what we got from that was huge draft capital that draft capital could have been thrown to the wayside. But not only was it not, finally, John Schneider and Pete Carroll hit again in the draft like it was 2012, like it was 2013. They just knocked it out of the park with all of the players you guys are already familiar with that leading up to the season have made a name for themselves so quickly. What do we got here? Largent. Oh, you had the Largent jersey on. Let's go. Steve Largent, a.k.a. Yoda. For all you young Seahawks fans, look up a Steve Largent highlight reel. You will see one of the best receivers. You think Cooper Kupp is nasty? Oh, you think Tyler Lockett is nasty? Steve Largent was nasty. I'm not sure if Steve Largent ran faster than 4.7, but man, that guy could get open. Just a legend. That's so cool you were wearing that jersey. So hyped for the game today. Oh my God, XNATXX. You know, I seen you on the channel. Thank you so much for joining in. I really appreciate it. Yes, you mad, bro. What's good? We won in every phase of the game. Special teams. DJ Dallas, shout out to DJ Dallas. He does not get enough credit. If he's not getting snaps, he's insane. The kid is just a pure football player. He's just blowing people up. He got us in good field position in that game. Let's see if Geno can get some second half points going in this game today. I hate how people don't give us credit for the Broncos win. If we win this game, the media will say Seattle always beats the 69. 69ers. Yeah, you know what? I think it's going to be that narrative all year. And I said that on one of my channels. We will be underdogs until we are like 11-5. You know what I mean? They'll be like, oh, it's impossible for Seattle to make it into the wild card. Oh, it's because of injuries to other teams. I've heard this before. I've seen this before. And that's just funny. Talking Heads mentions the 2 goal line fumbles. Roxanne says never included the small fact that those fumbles were forced fumbles. I said that to my friends. Dude, Roxanne, thank you for saying that, because I told my friends, like, look, it's not that they fumbled and Melvin Gordon gave up the ball and Javonte Williams. It's they were forced by Uchenna Nwosu. The Uchenna Nwosu was anyone could have paid Uchenna Nwosu, but Schneider and Carroll and Desai, they saw his talent and was like, this guy's buried on the – okay, let's go to this narrative. He was buried on the depth chart behind Joey Bosa and the other players there, the edge rushers of the LA Chargers. He was awesome. He just didn't get the snaps. But in limited snaps, he was there and he was good. And I was excited about him in FA. And they signed him. He caused 2 forced fumbles at the goal line, and we win the game. That's how you win games, is by finding low-key players, especially when you're in this retooling stage. Another player, Mike Jackson. Where did he come from? I'll tell you where he came from. He played for, his most famous team that he was on was New England, right? Not most famous team, but he was buried behind Gilmore and all of their other corners that they had there. J.C. Jackson. Of course, he wasn't going to get minutes. Where did he really fit in? See, Pete Carroll can see these guys, and he doesn't always hit. But when he does hit, guys, I'm telling you, this is how we get back into the Super Bowl window, by finding these guys on low-key contracts, re-upping through the draft. Geno's playing awesome. Drew Lock still has upside, but I'm telling you, if we get Levis or KJ Jefferson or one of these guys in the draft, name your favorite QB in the draft, we're going to explode on the scene. We've got a whole lineup of awesome players. I've been trying to tell people on this channel from the get-go, it's not just hype. We have epic right and left tackles already. Epic. You know how expensive it is to sign a right or a left tackle in the modern NFL? It's going to be $60+ million easy for like 4 seasons. We got these guys for free for 4 years. They're looking good. Let me catch my breath. Mike Jackson was really impressed. He really has, you mad, bro. He really has in tackling, in coverage. I don't even know if he's outside, inside corner. I don't care. He's just a pure DB, kind of like Deshaun Shedd was, except with more like nasty hitting ability and probably better ball skills. Shout out to Deshaun Shedd, who's still on the coaching staff, by the way. Pete is the DB god. Yes, Ray. Pete is the DB god. What up, my guy, Ray? V Tiger, my guy. Thanks so much for joining the Patreon. I really appreciate that. You guys can find the link to the Patreon on any of my video descriptions. We're going to have a good time in the Discord and the Patreon. It's like $6 to join or something. Anyways, you don't have to do that, but it's cool. We kind of get on the inside and talk about football there. Quandre Diggs was good as hell. Quandre Diggs was a huge signing. I can't believe the Lions let that guy go. Quandre Diggs was great last game. Hopefully he can be healthy this game. We're going to need him. The Seattle and 49ers rivalry isn't even bad anymore. It's the fans. Yeah, it's true. Like the rival between the team isn't there, but the fans, the Niners fans, they feel like they're in a Super Bowl window right now because of the defense, and that's probably justified. But it seems like I got some of my best friends are Niners fans. I'm sure you guys do too. But it seems a little bit overblown that they can just automatically slot in a quarterback like Trey Lance that hasn't really played much football period, and just all of a sudden win the Super Bowl. I think that's a tall task. Every time on a Seahawks page, some bad stuff, comments, I click. Yeah, the Niners fans hate us, man. It is what it is. Not all of them. Some of them are realistic. We need to keep him on the field. Yeah, we got to keep Diggs running, boy. He can come down and spook a young quarterback like Trey Lance. We need some picks today. Let's face it. We need to get the ball out of there. We need Tariq to make a play. We need Kobe to make a play in the slot. We need forced fumbles. We need interceptions. We're going to need that to win in Santa Clara to beat the narrative, because I think that the Zebras, everything's going to be kind of putting juice on the Seahawks to lose. Yeah, I'm going to answer everything I can. What's up, Seahawks? Eddie, it's good to see you on here, brother. Thank you so much for joining in. I'm going to answer all the comments here throughout the morning that I can. Any super chats are going to go to the top of the comments. If you do want to leave a super chat, I will answer those first just by attrition, but you do not feel the obligation to do that here. This is just a channel where we share our thoughts about football. So we got some morning games going on here. We got, New England. I don't even care who they play because I can't stand them. But New England versus the Steelers. I do have Najee Harris in fantasy. And then there's another game going on. I think it's a New Orleans Saints game versus Tampa. But I'll probably have the Steelers game on just because I have Harris playing. But anyways, what's your guys' feeling, man? What do you guys think about the channel? What do you think I can improve on the channel? Do you enjoy it? Are you enjoying my content? Do you feel it's original? I'm really trying to do this channel for you guys and make it something that's totally unique in the Seahawks community there. So you guys tell me how you feel about that. And I would be happy to talk about that. I could see special teams turnover in our favor. Yup, we could see a popping the ball out on special teams or just getting the proper field position we need. We got Natty has Leonard in fantasy. And got the Bucks defense, so got to tune into that game. Yeah, it's funny how fantasy football makes you tune into Browns versus Jags. At 10 a.m. you'll be watching that stuff. Good morning, glad to see you live, Valerie. Hey, Drago gang, Valerie. I almost want to pull up a dragon for you. She's one of the OG subs, maybe the first subscriber. But Val, I got so much respect for you, Val. I'm gonna pull out a dragon just for you, Val. Hold on, real quick. Shout outs Valerie McDougal. She's my dragon. Drago gang. We got dragons here. That's what she calls our young hawkers, our young ball hawkers. It's Drago gang. If you don't know what Drago gang is, that's exclusive young ball hawking players that just smash and blow fire on people. And we got young dragons, right, Val? You know what time it is. Anyways, I'm liking it. It's going to blow up quick. Oh, yeah, whatever. Thank you so much, you mad, bro. I had to shout you out. You always leave awesome comments, but it is what it is. Yeah, and I'm going to be going live as much as I possibly can because I really want to talk football with you guys and communicate with you guys and gals about the sport that we all love. So, feel free. There's no silly questions here, Dragos. There's no silly questions here. We're going to talk about everything that can happen this season and with these players. I want to talk about a little bit of something that's going under the radar here for today is Ken Walker III being active for this game. Now, we can say he's going to get limited snaps and we can get this and that. I do not trust that Pete Carroll is going to limit Ken Walker today. I do think that he may have been ready last week and that today Ken Walker III, our draft pick out of Michigan State, the award winner for the best running back in college, almost won the Heisman, is going to get some touches today and maybe in the passing game. You can beat teams with unknowns in the modern NFL, speed and unknowns. It's like one of those things. It's like, okay, Shanahan and them, they're going to come out and they're going to say, okay, let's just attack Geno Smith. That makes sense. You know what I mean? I think that makes perfect sense. Come off the edge, try to strip Geno, pressure Geno. But what do we have to lose? Is Geno really going to be scared? Guy's 31 years old. He's an OG. He's old enough. He's not scared. So that part I like. Ball control is one thing, but the fear won't be there. So if we can suck the Niners in like around if we can get them coming around the edges too aggressively, step up and hit RBs and hit tight ends, we can pick these guys up. I'm telling you guys. But Ken Walker III, yes, I might be overplaying his impact in this game because we don't know what it will be, but that is a prime X factor in this game. If he's spelling Penny, of course we need Penny to have a big game, but if he's spelling Penny, especially third, fourth quarter, and this game is tight. And those linebackers and stuff are tired because we're moving, pre-snap, edge to edge. We're moving guys around all game. Walker could do something here, guys, and that's kind of my prediction in this game, is that Walker might spring something that really freaks out the Niners. At least I'm hoping. Yeah, don't forget about DK balling out on them. Like, DK has like a deep hatred for the Niners. Jimmy Ward was talking preseason that he was going to assassinate DK Metcalf, but every highlight reel I see of DK playing the Niners, he's killing Jimmy Ward. You know what I'm saying? So, like, what are you talking about, man? Jimmy Ward is always like, yeah, man, like, we're gonna put it down on DK because Russ is gone. DK is like, you better watch out, man. DK is coming at you, Jimmy Ward. Like, how many plays is DK actually getting a target? Like 7 to 10. He needs 20, but 7 out of 10 times he's gonna try to just kill you, Jimmy Ward. So, like, you better calm down, bro. You're not that big. Like, I'm bigger than Jimmy Ward. I don't want to be trying to tackle DK Metcalf. You better just hope that you get to the ball in time, my brother. That is what it is. He does always shred the Niners. He's a freak. Yeah, DK, like, let's get him the ball. Let's get him like Devontae Adams target share. I don't care if freaking Jackson Mahomes is throwing to DK Metcalf. Just get him the ball 15 plus times, please. He was draped. Like, Patrick Surtain was like hanging off of DK, like hanging off of him pre-snap. Like, it was, every play was PI. This is DK. This is what DK and Patrick Surtain and DK Metcalf footage looks like from last game. Like, bro, how do they not call something? So Travarius Ward, Mosley, good corners, etc. You know what I mean? Those guys are good, but DK's bigger than those boys. Let's get him scheme the ball, not in annoying little slants that could get tipped up and picked off, but like hit him one-on-one. Like, let DK be Kittle. You know what I'm saying, in this game, and just let him bully people. DK, don't try to run backwards 20 yards and run for, like, just chill, man. Just do your thing, my brother. I think you can help us win this game. Geno can get the ball out quick, especially with the Niners DL. Valerie says, use all the Dragos and dogs. Use all the Dragos and dogs. You're totally right, Valerie. You always make this point in the comments. Spread the ball around. Make them honest. Keep them honest. This was the Waldron offense we were looking for. The Waldron offense, when we were so frustrated with Jared Goff and Todd Gurley and Higbee and those guys, and Woods were running sideways, up and down, and we just couldn't get to them, even with our epic defense. That's what you're going to try to see the Seahawks do today, is confuse them with pre-snap, lots of motion, get lots of people involved. Let's keep Uncle Will going. Let's keep Kobe Parkinson going. Let's get Fant involved here. Take some shots to him. They don't have dominant safeties in San Francisco. They have good safeties, but they struggle with speed and size there. Let's take advantage of that. And don't forget, and guys, don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, Tyler, the real estate agent, Lockett. Tyler will sell you a house, shake you on a go route, close the documents on DocuSign, come back, put a sign, list another house in Bellevue, go back to the field, shake you on an out route, and catch the ball on third down, all within a matter of one play. Natty says, I don't know if you follow DK on Instagram, but every day he posts a pic of him on the toilet, and I'm like, DK, why do you do this to me? On the toilet? Is he just crapping on the competition? I don't follow that. I have him on IG, but I guess I overlooked that. Seahawktopmist Prime, you have such great energy. Roxanne, you don't have to put on a red light. Shout out to Roxanne. Roxanne Roll says, Seahawktopmist Prime, you have such great energy and true enthusiasm for our Hawks and such clarity of thought. I dig it. 100. 100 to you, Roxanne. I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for coming on here and enjoying the show with us and everything. You Mad Bro says the struggle is real. V-Ray says, do you think Eskridge will be a bigger part of this game? You know what? He has to be. I was so high on D. Eskridge in the draft, and all the injury stuff aside, I won't even get into that. But why can't we just get Eskridge the ball in space? Like, why is it so hard? We always have to run D. Eskridge pre-snap like he's Deebo Samuel. He is not. Let's try to take a shot to that boy, man. If they suck, like, if the outside corners, if Lockett, okay, here's a play. Lockett and Metcalf, they're not running goes. You got Lockett and he's running like a wiggle, and you got Metcalf, he's just threatened vertically, and then you have a tight end underneath his blade. I want to see D just keep going on one of those post routes where the safety's too slow and see see if he can get the ball on the other side by the pylon. Let's see that play at least once, man. We spent a draft pick on this guy. Give the boy a chance. Yeah, he posted on his story almost every day. I'm just like, DK, DK is hilarious, man. That guy is such a cool character. He's just like, I only eat candy, and yeah, I basically eat candy, and I'm the best athlete in history since like Spartan times. He's just like a machine, bro. I thought Lockett should have been targeted earlier in that. Yeah, I think so too. It's always okay to hit Lockett when he's open. Maybe a bubble screen or two to D. Yeah, the bubble screens, it seems like when he's out there, they're ready for it. They just know that that's what's going to happen, and that's the predictability I don't want to see. I want to see him on some crossing routes, using his speed in space, catching the ball in rhythm on the run, and then trying to run by people, man. That's what I want to see, because if you watch D. Eskridge's reel at Western Michigan, if he caught the ball in stride, man, he was fluid athlete, man, really insane. I think he can still get it in, and I would like to see them attack him, use him to attack in this game, 100%. Good point. Yeah, man, absolutely. You're not wrong. Like, get him the ball at the line of scrimmage once that opens up. But it's one of those things. It's like when Harvin was in the game, you almost knew that they were going to either end around or do something close to the line of scrimmage. But D is a better deep threat than Percy was. So you can get D, even just a little kind of curl route, something, not like the one that Drew Lock threw to him, but like a simple something in rhythm. He's not a big guy. You can't expect him to be posting people up or running through Fred Warner and stuff. Like, let's be real, man. Use these guys to their strengths. And I think that Seattle is just figuring out some of the strengths of these young players. But it's really positive to get the tight ends involved last week. I think that will keep the Niners a little bit more honest this week. And Geno is good at hitting those tight ends and stuff like that. He's good at hitting big wides. So, like, if we can just keep that going, that's going to be exciting if we can see some continuity and some development of the defense. Lawrence Stewart says, go Hawks from Calgary, Alberta. Shout outs to Calgary. That's a really cool town there in Alberta. They specialize in beef. They specialize in all sorts of cool stuff. So thanks for joining in, Lauren. I really appreciate it. I hope you're enjoying the channel. Yeah, it's going to be a big day. Other storylines from today is just, can the Seahawks manage to limit, like, not only turnovers, but limit the Niners running game? And that's what I was saying in the video, was, can the Seahawks, like, stop that edge run? Because you have Elijah Mitchell, who is their star back, is out today, and that's big. I think Kittle is out today too. I'll have to check my phone on that to see if George Kittle is playing. If you guys know, I think he was questionable. That's a big factor too, because he's such a big run blocker for them. Let's see if he's out. He's expected to be out. So that's big. Kittle not playing today is big for us, because every time we play George Kittle, he has at least 100+ yards and almost 2 TDs or 2 TDs every time, it feels like, man. And shout outs to George Kittle, because he's just a grinder, bro. He's just a hustler. But him being out is massive, because Ross Dwelly and those guys are not as scary to me, especially between the 20s. You know what I mean? They can move the ball. But Elijah Mitchell being out, yes, Shanahan can slot any running back in and they'll still be the best in the league. Yes, big media biased to Shanahan's running game is hilarious. Shanahan is a genius running coordinator. But guess what, man? Jordan Mason and Fred Warner, they're not Elijah Mitchell. You know what I mean? And Pete knows he has to have better run stop today. He's going to be sneaking up dudes for the line of scrimmage. So do not be surprised if the Niners struggle with outside run once Seattle figures out contain there, because as good as Wilson and those guys are, they're not great. And I think Javonte Williams is a great running back. Melvin Gordon is a good to great running back. You know what I mean? And Russell Wilson attracts more attention with a spy than even Trey Lance will. So am I talking out of sorts here that they're kind of undermanned at RB today? Like, that would worry me if I'm a Niners fan. I wouldn't just be like, oh, we're going to run all over the Seahawks because they're the 31 ranked team in the NFL and we're the number 2 ranked team in the NFL. You're 0-1. Your running back is hurt. Your star player is hurt. Trey Lance has never played more than like 6 games in the NFL. I do have you guys favored to win this game, but don't be so sure you do win the game. That's what this whole channel is about reality, but optimism, Seahawktopmism for the Seahawks here, baby. That's Seattle Seahawks. Established 1976. We play at 800 Occidental Avenue in Seattle, Washington. If you don't know, now you know. Okay, Kittle, a thorn in our side. Lockett and Eskridge need more targets. That's true. 12th man, stand up. Welcome. You mad, bro? Just says laughing my ass. Probably laughing because of my impressions of the media. Valerie says Kittle a thorn in our side for years. With him out, increase our chances tremendously. It does. And Val, it's not just the receptions, right? It's his run blocking ability, his downfield blocking for his other players, his receivers for Deebo Samuel, who I don't even want to talk about Deebo Samuel because he scares the shit out of me. But anyways, Deebo Samuel, can you get the downfield run blocking? That's what the Niners specialize in doing. Without Kittle, they have juice and stuff like that. But him being out is a big deal. And we can't overlook that. If we win this game, we could legit go 3-1 or 4-0 in our first 4 games, which is crazy. Like, if you were to place a bet on that Seattle could have a chance to be 3-1 or 4-0 or even 2-2 over the first 4 games, a lot of people would take that bet against you. And here we are. All right, y'all. Are we back now? Are we back now? I think we're back. Let me know if it's back on. There we go. God, man, that was frustrating. Anyways, Tariq Woolen, the freak, the avatar. This kid could be not only the next Richard Sherman, he could be better. I don't know. That's a bit much because Richard Sherman's like a 4.0 GPA at Stanford, just a genius. He comes from South Central, comes from the mud, good parents. I think Richard Sherman's dad was like a garbage truck driver, and he just ground his way from whatever to become one, in my opinion, a top five cornerback in history. Tariq Woolen, Texas guy. I'm sure he doesn't come from money, just a pure athlete, played basketball, I'm sure, just good at everything, but played receiver, didn't make it a receiver because they have the best hands, but the best spark athlete in history to play DB. Can Woolen be that type of guy, that sensation, let alone Kobe Bryant, who I'm really high on, to skyrocket this Seattle Seahawks defense and propel us into the future? Can Tariq Woolen do that? I think he can. Watching Tariq Woolen against Courtland Sutton, when I watched the All-22, casual fans said this guy had 2 pass interference penalties. He was too handsy. From what I saw, Tariq Woolen was living inside Courtland Sutton's jugular in healthy pass coverage. So when Russ tried to audible, straight routes, Woolen was acting like a vet. He was not falling for it. And he was up in his hip, running with him stride for stride. His hands, he got, the thing that Woolen could do that Shaquille never could do is get his body around. He has a good sense as a receiver. This is the thing that Sherman had an advantage of. As a former receiver, their sense when the ball gets close is not just to panic and hit a guy or bat a guy's arms down. He wants to turn and get the ball. You see, now guys like Trey Lance, these younger corners, I hope you've done your or quarterbacks, I hope you've done your research, are going to try to test these young corners. But these guys are ball hawks, man. So you got to be careful. And I'm excited. I'm so excited for Woolen and his upside because corner is my favorite position. I absolutely love secondary play. And I think that Tariq can be a star player and make all the difference in the world, especially for this young team. Let's see Woolen get picks before saying that. I hope he does. Exactly. He has to do that. But what I'm saying is, can he? You know what I mean? I believe it's almost like I know he can, but can he in the big moments take the ball away like Sherm did? And that's something that Sherman, I'm sure, is coaching him up on. Like, look, young man, when the ball's there, it's anyone's ball. It's just as much your ball as the other player's ball. So you take it. And I think Woolen is up to that challenge. So these types of receivers like Jawan Jennings, these types of guys, these 3 and 4 receivers, I think Woolen can win those matchups and get the ball out. Let's see if he can do it today. I just got a message. We're 17-4 in last 21 games against the Niners. Yeah, they rarely beat us, and the narrative is it's Russell Wilson, but I think it's deeper than that. I think Kyle Shanahan has a hard time with Carroll-led teams. Carroll has a hard time with McVay-led teams, and McVay has a hard time with Shanahan-led teams. It's crazy, the narratives around the NFL and the NFC West. But we're back, boy. Sorry about the little technical issue there. I had a little bit of a connectivity issue. That's all going to improve as I take this, to a MacBook and get a nice setup going for us. But yeah, thank you so much for sticking with the channel, loving the channel. I'm going to stay live here today. What's happening? We got the Steelers out. What's happening today? I'm just catching this here right here. Oh, is that Deontay Johnson with a little catch there? What's going down? What's up with Najee Harris, man? He's playing with a broken foot. I need bro to go off today, fantasy wise. Yeah, I'm just peeping this little game here, dude. 3-0, 3-0 New England. Yeah, I can't stand New England, man. Sherman cut off routes to get a lot of those picks. Yeah, it was anticipation because Sherman is not fast, right? You mad, bro? Sherman runs like 4.6, 4.7. What he was able to do was read quarterbacks' eyes, read receivers' tells, and win the chess game. And half of that is pre-snap. And Sherman was a master of that. You think he was playing off coverage, then that ball would come to float too quickly to the back shoulder. Sherman was like, oh, that's mine. And those can lead to pick sixes. So Sherman was trying to score on you and get the ball in a position to score and run downhill, not just pick off the ball. So what a brilliant player Rick was. And I'm hoping that, those guys in the building can't be overlooked. Sherman in the building. Yeah, he just knew exactly. Sherman, Cliff Averill, Walter Jones with Cross, Averill with Maffei and Chenna and those guys and Taylor can really do a job of helping Carroll and assisting Carroll to propel this team to another level in terms of one-on-one coaching, and that's what it is. Jen, no, I'm not in Seattle right now. I actually don't live there. I won't say exactly where I do live, but a lot of my friends and family are down there. And I kind of grew up. I spent a lot of time in the Central District area when I was young. My aunt lives in that area. So, I love Seattle, Washington. Shout out to South End, West Seattle, North End, everywhere, Renton, Bellevue, Bremerton, the whole Northwest area, Portland. I love the Northwest. I am in the Northwest. I'm a Northwest guy. But, my aunt had a place at Pike Place. He had the CD, Garfield, Franklin, all that stuff. Shout out to Rainier Beach. Seattle is an awesome city. If people aren't familiar with Seattle, if you've never been to Seattle, you should check it out, man. It's brilliant people, amazing food, great culture, amazing music everywhere. Like, it's got to be one of the best cities in the world, underrated. I know things have changed in Seattle quite a bit in terms of where it's gone. But that's all big cities. They're all transforming and they're all losing a little bit of what they had. But, I love Seattle and always will. Tariq Woolen should play a lot of trail. Yeah, Jerome, let's get into the X's and O's. Jerome said, I used to live in Bremerton. Yeah, shout out to Bremerton. My opponent's QB is to play. Okay, Tariq should play a lot of trail technique, Jerome Blossom says. That's absolutely true. Like, he could do super good in that because he can just close down. Like, and when the ball gets there, he's so fast that, like, if it's not a laser, like down on a fade route, like, he's going to just catch up to the ball. I could see him having 5 or 6 interceptions this year. Been there 3 times and plan to relocate in 2 years to Seattle. Okay, where you at now, Jen, if you don't mind saying. But yeah, a great place for sure. It's expensive, Seattle, but it's awesome. Yeah, he's got speed. Woolen, if you guys don't know, 4.26 speed, which is unheard of for a person that's 6'4", 6'6" wingspan. His legs go up to like freaking Mars, San Diego. Yeah, so that's where that's the area where Amar grew up in, is the San Diego area. My family's from the Northwest. I was born in the Northwest. So fast and so freaking tall, would be a shame not to use it. Yeah, and you know what? They're going to. They look at Tariq Woolen as a star player. Pete Carroll would have not started Tariq Woolen in week 1 if he thought he wasn't ready. He absolutely wouldn't have tossed him into a fire like that. Against Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, Russell Wilson in the opening. But what better way to do it? And boy, did that kid show up on the all-22. I'm telling you guys, those penalties were one thing. He gave up no completions. And they didn't target him much because nobody was open. And Cortland Sutton, a lot of people have him as a top like 20 wide. And he was just on him. Whoa. What happens if you're not as big or strong as Cortland Sutton? Tariq Woolen's going to boss you, bro. I would love to see Woolen versus DK in a race. Yo, it would be like Sonic the Hedgehog, like the movie. It's just like a trail of fire behind them. You know what I mean? They're just like, whoa. How are these boys as fast and that big? Like, down south, man. Like Texas boys, Mississippi. Like Mississippi, man. What do they put in the water down there, bro? Like these guys are insane. Yeah, for sure, man. Like, you know, a lot of the Northwest athletes, like the LA guys are in Seattle and Bay Area people are super sparky, you know, like they're spark athletes and they're super good and like technical and stuff. But those South dudes is like they're just like mutants. Like if you've seen my Professor X video, they're just like, hi, my name is Charles Winston, and I'm from Tupelo, Mississippi, and I play offensive tackle for Mississippi State. And these boys are just like, they're just like, he's 19 years old. He's 6'5", 302 pounds, and runs 4'6". He thought about going to accounting, but he figured football was his future. Like, how do these people grow this big? Like, I have an aunt in North Carolina. I'll be down south, and you'll be like, you know, talking to some dude and be like, hey, man, I'm just like catching the bus to go to high school. He's massive. Like, it's insane the difference. It's just like, man, it must be the food or something, man. I don't know what it is, but shout out to the whole South. Breed a lot of awesome football players. The whole United States does. Can't wait to see K9. Ooh, I know I've been talking about that in the videos lately. Ken Walker. Yeah, Mississippi, Georgia breeds football players. You know, Washington's no joke either. There's a lot of good guys. Did you guys see the? Oh yeah, so Ken Walker III, absolutely, Jerome. We're all excited for that. I think Pete Carroll has been reserving how healthy he is, meaning he's healthier than we expect him to be. That surgery is no joke, but if a properly done hernia surgery is executed and it's not too deep, and the mesh is put in correctly, he's not going to be that limited, you know, because he's a freak athlete. We'll see how his lateral agility looks today. Yeah, but Mississippi, Georgia, Carolina, like all those southern states, football is like religion. You know what I mean? So these people have a huge advantage. It's just like, you know, like a Brazilian playing soccer when they're young. They start so young. Shout outs to you, Eddie. 40 minutes from Seattle. That's all good. Washington, I'm assuming. Beautiful state. Shout outs to the whole Washington state. Got my coffee going right here. They just put a clipper of Robert Kraft on there. Why is Robert Kraft not in trouble? That's all I'm going to say. How come Robert Kraft isn't in trouble, but everyone else is? That meme where girls like, come on, man. Patriots, man. Y'all was cheating, man. Straight up. Oh, Mitch Trubisky throwing interceptions left, right, and center. Mitch Trubisky throws a pick. Of course he does. You guys got Kenny Pickett. It's like, you guys got Kenny Pickett. You're like, let me see. Let me develop Kenny Pickett, a marquee quarterback who's probably going to be really, really good. Oh, let me start Mitch Trubisky. It's just like, you deserve everything that happens to you, man. You know? What's up with you guys, man? Let's have a good time today. Let's have fun. I got 15 people in here. You know, I didn't expect it to start that hot, but it is what it is. You guys are sticking with me for these morning games. Go, Mitch, go. Who says you mad, bro? Morning games are just always hilarious in the NFL. It is what it is. I didn't bring out my Sean Alexander jersey today, but it is what it is. But I got this out today. OG vintage Mitchell and S vest right here. You know, I'm a real Hawks head, bro. This is it. My unfinished basement in my home. You know, it is what it is. But I'm going to be doing some fun stuff on the channel, guys. I'm going to try to get an interview with Luke Wilson. Luke Wilson, former tight end of the Seahawks. I'm going to try to get an interview with him. I'm also going to try to get an interview with Marcus Trufant, who I bumped into an airport, you know, sometimes like many years ago. So I'm going to try to do that on the channel as well. I'm going to try to get exclusive stuff. I'm not going to be like Grant Kahn and try to like go in the locker room and be like, what do you guys think about it? Shout outs to him, but I'm going to be doing what I can to, you know, from a distance, get players involved and yeah, bro, you know what it is. But this channel is just going to keep growing. It's going to keep excelling. We're going to keep it going. And I absolutely love what's going on here, man. It's so much fun. Should I check my fantasy team? I don't want to bother you guys with my fantasy team because it's going to be, my fantasy teams are usually like too high upside and then they're trash. Let's talk football. If Geno takes care of the ball today, Jerome Blossom says, I think we have a pretty good chance we're winning. That's what I said in my video. If we turn the ball over, we can turn the ball over, but we can't do it inside of our own end. You know what I mean? We can't turn the ball over to get them in the scoring position, because that's how Shanahan will take advantage of us. Shout outs from Hawaii. Fat Daddy Stacks, Hawaii's got to be one of my favorite places. Went to Maui quite a lot of times. Not a lot of time on Oahu, but I love Hawaii. It's absolutely beautiful. The people are so dope, bro. And like Hawaii, man, I can't wait to go back there with my family. It's so amazing. And, you know, I get in there with the people, man. I don't do the touristy stuff. I go and hang out with real people, real folks. Valerie says, didn't know Michael Jackson been in the league since 2019, mostly on practice squad. Good to show how Pete can develop players. Exactly. So Pete saw his talent, but Jackson was never bad per se, Valerie. He was buried behind J.C. Jackson, who was a star corner for New England, who got signed by the Chargers, and he's buried behind Gilmore, who we all know Stephon Gilmore. And then they've got those Courtney twins as well, McCourty twins. So how could he have ever shone there? But yes, Nwosu as well, same type of player. If it wasn't for those guys in front of him, they could have been star players getting contracts already. Pete Carroll swoops in and says, go Hawks, and takes them under the wing and believes in them and says, boy, are you ready to play? And they're like, yes, coach. And they go out and just do their thing. I met Luke Wilson and Marcus Trufant 5 times. Dope, man. Marcus Trufant's super cool. Luke Wilson I haven't met, but my friend's been down with him before. But yeah, Marcus Trufant, my favorite corner from back in the day. Absolutely. Such a clutch player and a local guy. No short field, you mad, bro. Exactly. Like, just don't cough up the ball and let their defense score. That's what I said in the most recent video of how can the Seahawks beat the Niners? How can they upset them? Is by, if you do commit a turnover, do not let their team score. Like, don't let Fred Warner or them score off that turnover, because that'll rile them up and play into the NFL narrative too quickly. Narratives count. Kobe always seemed to be at the right spot, but he doesn't know how to make play on the ball. Okay, so Jerome, that's a good point. Here's what I think about Kobe. In that first game, he was playing it too safe. I think Kobe Bryant does know how to play on the ball. I think he does. But what Kobe Bryant needs to do is trust in himself. Think like, okay, the game's a bit faster, but it's no different than the sport I was playing when I was in college. So if you're going to get your head around and you're going to make a play on the ball, you got to be confident in yourself and just do it. So Kobe, like with the Judy play, he just let Judy go. He didn't trust in himself. He got caught between the player and the ball. Just go and attack. That's it. Attack, 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 attack. If this young defense attacks, we're going to go at least 500. Let me get pumped up. If this young defense plays with no fear like they did last week, we're going to at least win 9 games, guys, and we can sneak in the playoff spot, because nobody knows who these guys are. Everyone's going to be trying to play us like we're vanilla. We're going to get exotic. We're going to come with more bare fronts. We have Clint Hurt here, who's attacking. Sean Desai, a brilliant defensive mind. They're going to start trapping some of these quarterbacks, and I think that starts today. Even Russ was having a hard time. 300 plus yards for Russ, but he was having a hard time finding open receivers against a young secondary. And Jamal Adams wasn't even playing the whole game, and he still couldn't do much there. Not that Adams is the best coverage safety, but he adds a lot of pressure up front in the box. Cheddar on the goal line. Big Cheddar Nwosu, Nigerian Nightmare. The fumble, the second fumble that he caused was just pure power. Like, it wasn't even a punching it out. No, the first fumble was pure power. Maybe it was, I don't remember. But his shoulder got in there. He bodied a freaking guard, and it was crazy. Nwosu was just an animal. NFC Player of the Week, Cheddar Nwosu, a.k.a. Cheddar. You know, don't Cheddar Bob yourself trying to block this guy. Saijen says that Seahawks, Eddie, have you changed your tune on the game? Yesterday, you all Niners, yeah, you know what? Like, I think the media narrative of the Niners is fair to, like, have them as the favorite to win, but the 9.5 spread is disgusting. Like, how do you have a 9.5 spread on a game where the Niners barely beat the Seahawks in the last, like, decade? You know what I mean? Like, it's ridiculous, man. Kobe kind of playing, like, reverse Trayvon Diggs. That's funny, man. He's like backwards Trayvon Diggs. I have faith in Kobe Bryant, man. I think he's going to be a great one, bro. He's just so smart. Like he's going to adapt to the speed of this game, and I don't think it will take him long. That's what the coaches were saying. They're kind of alluding that he's like a slow player, a slow playing kind of guy, quick learner, but he's cautious. So maybe he gave up that one play to Judy, but tonight I highly doubt he's going to give up much. And I think that could frustrate them. Like, here, picture this play. It happens. Trey Lance drops back. He thinks he sees somebody open, like a leaking juice check, or, something cheeky to Debo. He thinks it's open. But Kobe Bryant is just like, I can see him just being like, like, I'm excited, guys. I'm super excited for this game. MG says, Go Hawks, we're winning today. Go Hawks always. Win or lose, it's just Go Hawks. But you're right. I think we can pull this up. The energy, I'm starting to get the vibes. Valerie McDougall says, our OL is so much better, but going against one of the best DLs in the league. So how do our OLs protect Geno in open holes in the running game? Great question. I know Geno can get the ball out fast, but we need more than that. Factual. So this is what I think happens. Just by attrition, Damian Lewis playing really, really helps on the left side of the field. So let's play a little bit of reverse psychology. Let's attack Nick Bosa, because Charles Cross, even though Bosa is going to be tied up or Cross is going to be tied up with Bosa, Dame, let's get Dame to the second level, and let's spread the seas a bit there and get Penny going through there, because I want him tired. I want Nick tired at the end of the game. That's where we can run a weird bootleg that they don't see and sting them with Metcalf and play action if it's not pouring rain out today. But yeah, what we need to do is just need to run the ball effectively inside zone. Running outside, we need downfield blocking. We need our tight ends to be good. You're going to see a lot of heavy TE sets. We need to just be not predictable in our run game. We are going to run, but we got to just attack those boys, hit them in the mouth. That's all we can really do, right? They got a great D-line. Let's face it. I'm not underplaying the Niners defense, and I've said it in many of my videos here leading up to this, that they've got a top 2 defense. It's not going to be easy. You're going to have to play super hard, just like you did last week. Lewis is back. Yeah, exactly. So Dame, even Dame is just such a force. You know what I mean? Especially in run. So I think that'll really do things. And I think Penny is hungry to get some deeper runs in this game, because Rashad, outside of that fumble, was playing really, really well and almost broke some stuff. He didn't, like I said in one of my videos, Penny needs to be about 228 pounds, not 232 pounds, just so he can have that little bit of extra wiggle to evade the linebackers' leg tackles. They try to go for his legs, and it seems like he's got that innate ability just to break through those and keep it churning. I'm looking forward to that today. Fred Warner, great linebacker, but let's see if we can just get creative in that running game. That's going to be an exciting test and situation for them. They still got Trubisky in this game. Dude. Silly. Najee Harris is a dope player, by the way. Seahawktopmist Prom, I like that. Yeah, exactly, right? It's a chess match. Football is a chess match. It's a lot of casual people think it's a game where it's just you line up, the ball snapped, you try to get it to somebody open. Most of it happens pre-snap. You have to make the play, but most of it happens before it even starts. And what I mean by that is, if you watch X's and O's and you watch channels like Top Billin and those guys who are really into the X's and O's of football, they'll tell you that if you don't have your assignment, you're not assignment correct, whether on offense or defense, a play can really not happen. Big plays happen when people do their jobs. You know what I mean? And Belichick was always saying, do your job. What he meant is, if you hit your block and you execute and you do what you're supposed to do, it's going to leave your star players the ability to make the plays to win the matchups. And it's all about creating mismatches in football. Nick Bosa is a mismatch for anybody on the outside. So how do you mitigate that? You either go completely away from him or you attack him. And I feel like this young team is going to attack people that teams and players that they feel are going to try to break the narrative. They're just going to be smacking them in the mouth, man. Let's go. Go Hawks, baby. It is what it is. I like Haynes, but I like him on the right more. Sure, Haynes has been a good swing tackle. I'm kind of alluding to the fact that he's a starting caliber tackle in the NFL. He probably becomes trade bait for the Seattle Seahawks to get a later round pick, mid to late round pick if he plays well this year. I still think he has more upside than Gabe Jackson for sure at this stage, but I want to see Dame left. I want to see Curran on the right. I want to see, obviously, Abe beside him and Blythe in the center. we draft a more dominant center than Blythe next season, or Blythe just kills it. But once it's crossed, Lewis, Blythe, or marquee center in the draft, Jake Curran at right, and then you have our guy Abe the Stonewall Lucas on the other side. That's a great O-line. And then insert QB1, and then we're going to be rocking and rolling, baby. If we're not already, shout out to Geno Smith. You guys know I was pro team let Drew brew, but Geno has done this thing, and I got so much love for him, and I always said I'll support him if he won the job, and I am. Walker the third making his debut today. I say bring, yeah, exactly. Like, let it fly. Seahawks country. Let's fly. This is how I think Pete Carroll's going to look after this game to the NFL. This is how he's going to look. He's going to go to the press conference like this. He's going to be like, what did you guys say about my young players? You counted us out too early. Drew, get me my bag. He's going to be like, yo. He's going to be like, have you heard of Kenneth Walker III? Let's go. Woo. Oh, it's like you guys don't even know where the super chat button is. I'm just kidding, man. I don't even know if that works. I've been watching some live streams and they're like super chat. It's like, it says like 274, 599. It's like, then the guy answered the question super fast and he's like, yeah. It's all good, man. You guys don't owe me nothing. If you want to contribute to the channel, just keep watching, man. Keep subscribing. If you want to leave a super chat and say, support the channel there, that's awesome too. It takes a lot of time to do this, but I do not care because it's what I'm going to be doing anyway. Yeah, Phil Haynes, man, he had that false start against Denver. I think that was like the one penalty we had there. But ultimately, it was like, we got a deeper than maybe thought of O-line. Who plays? Is it Kyle Fuller that plays behind Blythe if Blythe goes down? I think Blythe is awesome because I spoke to that in one of my first videos that Blythe knows the Waldron offense like no other center in the league. He was commanding it as it was just erupting and exploding on the scene with the Rams. So he knows how to make the calls. He was just getting blown up in the run game last week. But then are those defensive tackles more like bull rushing defensive tackles than Kinlaw and Armstead? That's another thing to look at. Maybe he has more success against, I would say, strong but wiry type of interior three-tech players of the Niners. And so maybe the zone run, inside run can work a little bit better to see today. But yes, I know Ken Walker be chomping at the bit today is a big part of the narrative that I had pregame going into this, and rightfully so. Another thing that cannot be overlooked is, Deebo Samuel. Let's talk about Deebo Samuel and Seattle limiting Deebo Samuel. You almost have to have a spy on Deebo Samuel because I'm more worried about him breaking the long run than I am Trey Lance. I do not think that the Niners will expose Trey Lance to a Wolverine like Ryan Neal or Jordan Brooks in the open field. Like, no matter what the media narrative is, they want Trey Lance as a long-term player. You know what I mean? They'll say, Jimmy could come in right now, but long-term they want Lance. So they do not want to have him hurt. Trey Lance is a dynamic athlete, can win games with his legs, but are they going to, against a nothing-to-lose Seahawks, trot Trey Lance out into the open field like that, where these young Seahawks DBs and linebackers will just be looking for blood? You're going to want their running back to take the ball there. Deebo Samuel is a player that is very fast, very stout in the running game, and Jordan Brooks and those guys are going to have to be on their P's and Q's, and they're going to have to tackle this guy, man. Yeah. You got to keep Deebo. You got to keep Deebo from going buck. You know what I mean? Like, he's going to do his thing, but you got to keep him from scoring like major, huge TDs on you. And that's a tall task. He's just a great player, man. It is what it is. Like, even Pete said in this presser, like, there's not a lot of guys like that. Pete was like, they're like, what do you think about Deebo Samuel? Pete's like, well, there's not a lot of guys like that. That means there's not a lot of answers for guys like that. You just have to play them the best you can. That's what I love about the NFL. Like, as much as I am a Seahawks fan, like diehard, I appreciate the other players in the league that make this entertaining because there's so many awesome players, man. We're We're hard on our running backs. I just hope Walker is fully healthy enough to play and not re-injure. So a hernia like that, like once it heals, it's kind of, it's a surgery. It's not like a re-injure kind of thing. It's more like, is he healthy enough to get the motion in his hips, to feel strong out there and make the cuts he's going to need to make? You know what I mean? That's the narrative that these guys. That's the thing. That's the thing. You don't want to try him out too early. I agree, especially against the Niners. But if he's ready, he's ready. Coach will play him if he's ready. Valerie says, now that Jamal is out, again, he will be missed for sure. He's a Drago King. Who's taking his place, and now how will he be used? Can we expect him to play up to the line to blitz? So Josh Jones is going to probably take that, but I heard Ryan Neal is, so Ryan Neal would be above the depth chart to Josh Jones. By experience, Ryan Neal is a tenacious player. I don't think Ryan Neal is as good as a coverage safety as Josh Jones is. So in different sets, different down and distances, those guys will get spelled in to the game. So Josh Jones will probably be there more in passing downs. Ryan Neal will be there more in the rushing and needing to tackle situations. But we've got two good safeties there, so I feel really happy about that, as sad as I am that Jamal's out for the year. But yeah, in terms of blitzing, Val, I think you can blitz Jones or Neal. Really, if you're running a safety blitz, you just run it. But maybe we corner blitz with Woolen. Maybe we corner blitz with Jackson. Like, we're going to send exotic stuff at Trey Lance. Trey Lance is young. He hasn't seen a lot of NFL football sets. He hasn't played Seattle a lot. There's not a lot of tape on our players, so expect D-line to be doing all sorts of crazy stunts. Expect them to be sending pressure all game long from different areas of the field. And if anything, it's fun to watch, even if he beats it, Agree. I'm not worried about Debo downfield. Just in the backfield is a run. Exactly. That's what I was alluding to. It's not it's him. It's stopping him from making those crazy big runs. Jan, talking to you. You mad, bro? Says agreed. I just hope we can split the workload to keep them both healthy. Yeah, for sure. Like, let's keep our backs healthy, because if we do a stretch run here and we have this running crew, who knows what can happen. I like Ryan. He can hit. Unlike Jamal, he can catch the ball for interceptions. It's true. So, like, Ryan Neal can actually, like, he's got hands. So that's different. You know what I mean? What you lose in Jamal at the line of scrimmage and in the box, you make up for in coverage. It is what it is. Not that Jamal is a coverage liability. He just doesn't have the hands, like, literally, to be able to catch the ball at this stage. So you pick up, a little bit more there in terms of playmaking ability downfield. But yeah, Ryan left, Daddy Fast X, exactly. Like, Ryan Neal is an underrated force of this. He brings the fire like Jamal Adams does to secondary and special teams. He's trying to decapitate people. Like, Ryan Neal, every single play that man plays, you see his dreads flying. He looks like the Predator. He's like the Predator. He's trying to come downfield and smack. And that's Seahawks football for you. You guys know what we're talking about here. Josh Jones has not been a liability at all. Josh Jones has been fantastic this year. Absolutely awesome. He's just been doing so well in camp. He's not a rookie. This guy's 26, 27, bounced around the league, but I think he found the set that works for him, that allows him to be himself. And sometimes that's all it takes for a player. A coach to believe in them, opportunity, and a defensive set and scheme that plays to their strength. For him, it's coming downhill whilst trying to bat balls away. He's really good at that. You know what I mean? So Seahawks are a deeper team. I've been telling people that all year long, is like, this is a deeper team than people expect, man. Like, don't sleep on us. All right, man. We're an hour into the live stream. It's going really well. Everyone, I'm going to stay on here. I'm going to keep it rolling. Thank you for staying around. Thanks for all the likes. This is really awesome. Got some OGs in here. We got Valerie McDougal in here. OG Seahawks Times subscriber. We got V Ray, OG, also a member of the Patreon. You mad, bro? Fat Daddy Stack, Jan. I love all you guys, man. You guys are awesome. Roxanne, everyone that's been on here, man. Thank you so much for sticking along with me here. Jerome, everybody, let's keep this going. Let's have fun. Let me know if you're watching games right now. What games are you watching? I still got that bum Steelers game on right now, but I'm trying to see what's happening with my little fantasy squad here. Let's see what's happening. Oh, man, my guys are asleep, man. It's so frustrating sometimes. But it is what it is. Oh, but he's got Tom Brady at quarterback, who's also pooping the bed. Tom Brady, what happened, bro? Guys, I'm dying. I told my wife Tom Brady came back he was like, look, I'm having problems at home. Tom Brady, did you go to Cuba and have facial surgery? And then Giselle was like, stop playing, come home. And you were like, no, I'm playing more. Like, what happened? Either that or he's terminally ill and I'm going to feel like a dick. But something's going on there. Tom, what's good, brother? I hope you're okay, man. Yeah, I'm just overall, I'm super thrilled that the team is even competitive right now. What does a loss for SF mean for Trey Lance? That's a great question. I hated that the Niners brought Jimmy Garoppolo back for Trey Lance in his camp because it just didn't signify the confidence that you should give the young guy if you're just going to give him a start. So I'll start there. This game doesn't mean as much to me for Trey Lance's future as it does for Lynch and Shanahan's future, because Kyle Lynch and Shanahan are under the gun. Big market teams are expected to win now with marquee defenses, straight up. Trey Lance doesn't play well today. It's trouble for him too, because he's so young that they could say, man, let's just pull the reins back on this guy, give him more practice and put Jimmy in the game, because the fans will be calling for blood because you're losing. If you lose to a division rival, it's just going to look really bad on that FO. So there's a lot of pressure on the Niners in this game. And I said that in my last YouTube video. Lance, if he doesn't win and he plays really well, then the narrative is okay for Trey Lance. But if Trey Lance plays terribly, then it could be a problem for sure. Diggs is a badass for sure. You mad, bro? I like when we had all the dreads like the Predators. Yeah, it looked like Predator Revolution or whatever out there. What else we got in the comments here? Yeah, for sure. Josh Jones is a very likable as well. He really is, brother. Red Zone, you're watching them all. Saints versus Bucks game on. Everybody love everybody for sure. What does a loss mean for Trey? I answered that. Umabro says he's looking pretty sucked up. Yeah, we'll see. Jimmy's show, it would be Jimmy's show quickly. Seahawks should go back to a 4-3 defense today. That's interesting. I want to stick to what we're doing. Actually, I want to blitz more. I want Uchenna to come. I think we can spook Lance. You know what I mean? We got speed edge rush. I want to see Boye Mafe today. I want to see Boye Mafe running laterally, hunting people today with our young Nigerian nightmares that we are unveiling to the league. Why? They need to back up for Trey. I called it in the offseason. Yeah, I mean, but it's the narrative, right? Like, you could choose a lot of backups, but you bring in Jimmy. It's great for the team narrative, but it does create something in a young player that, if I mess up today, Jimmy's going to come in and I'm not going to get my job back. That's what I mean there. Psychologically, it's very different. 4-3 is better at stopping wide zone. True. And then I think we'll see more coverages, Jerome, for sure. We're going to see more mix up than we did against the Broncos. We're going to see more exotic packages. We're going to see more NASCAR. We're going to see more bigger sets. It's going to be totally different today. And I think we're going to be able to do that all year. We have creativity in Carl Scott, Sean Desai, Pete Carroll. We've got new young Clayton Hurt. We got a coaching staff that's not afraid to get freaky out there. And I'm excited about it. Brady's got something going on. Brady's something. You mad, bro? You're crazy, man. I agree. We need to be in Lance face. Oh, let's get up in Trey. Let's get up in Trey's freaking whole area, man. Trey area. Let's get up in Trey area. Jimmy's an expensive backup. Yeah, man. But he's so handsome. Bro has just never won a clutch play in his life. Jags versus Colts is a shocker right now. Jags by 14. Not shocked at all because, they don't have any receivers for the Colts right now. Pittman's out. They're running Doolin and Paris Campbell right now, and that's it. They got Mo Alley Cox and Matt Ryan. He's looking like his arms like Uncle Rico right now, bro. I love Matt Ryan, but they're gonna have issues until they get some receiving. Are you nervous at all for Geno? The second half against Denver was a huge drop. I think Geno Smith is what he is and is playing better than what we expected. Am I nervous for him? Not really, in the sense that he's not expected to win games as an individual player. But the 190-yard games and 2 TD games, that's kind of Geno Smith, isn't it? That's kind of what Geno Smith is. If we can increase that to maybe 250 and 3 TDs, or 250 and 2 TDs throwing and 1 rushing, combined with a couple rushing TDs or a defensive touchdown and some field goals, we can be a wild card team. So I'm not going to put too much on Geno Smith because I already feel like he's playing better than I expected him to play against those types of defenses. Throwing for a perfect first half is one thing. It just didn't work out in the second half. There was a couple missed plays, and it wasn't all on Geno. There's some plays that were called back, etc. So let's see if he can just even have as good of a game. This is a way better defensive line than Denver, but they're not as good of a secondary as Denver. So let's hope it doesn't rain too hard today because I want to see DK challenge these guys and Tyler. Even if it is raining, I want to see us make these guys work, man. Jags usually surprise a team once. Jags usually have their one game a year where they kill people, but they got Travis Etienne. They got some sneaky dudes out there. Kirk. I don't know why they paid Christian Kirk like he was Captain Kirk. They paid Christian Kirk the Starship Enterprise. Like, why are you paying Christian Kirk money like DK Metcalf? Like, what are you doing? I've watched the kid's whole career. He's good and everything, but like, come on, man. Like, what the hell? Why don't you just keep Shark or whatever? Anyways, yeah, so they got some sneaky weapons, and Lawrence is, he's got lots of talent. So let's see. I mean, they got rid of their last coach who was like in Applebee's and Chili's and Hooters and stuff like that. So they'll probably be better. I like the defense. They got cool guys. I still love Shaquille Griffin, man. What a great family the Griffin family is, man. Shout out Shaquem Griffin, man. Okay. I couldn't even get out of my shower with one arm, one hand. This guy played in the NFL. Like, I love the tenacity of that young family, man. They're awesome kids. I wish them well. I'm all about the people, man. It's bigger than the sport. Let's get back into what Roxanne says. The balance in play calling last week was oddly unbalanced towards the pass, nearly 75-25. That's true. That's very true. It's like they did not expect that, and maybe that's part of why we won. I think we're going to hit the ground this week, though. Geno played great last year, 5-1. Only think he can be better. Yeah, he did, but like the clutch plays were where we lack. Like, misreading the Tyler play where Tyler fell and then holding onto the ball too long for the TJ Watt sack. My real concern for Smith has been the clutch moments. If he's only going to do the 2 TD and 200 yards thing, can he keep the ball secure in the clutch moments? He was able to against Denver. There was one strip sack that Charles went on, but in the other sack, Geno was able to hold on to the ball, and that was crucial to me. And I think that's something he really focused on in the offseason, and that Carroll was really, that we weren't seeing in practice, was like Drew was winning those battles in terms of the air yards and stuff, but maybe Geno was just outright winning in terms of ball security and just how comfortable he looked with the ball. Did Wilson have 200 yards, 2 touchdown games during LOB? That's a great point. You know what I mean? Yes, that was kind of the formula there. Absolutely great point. But, was Wilson also rushing for like 110-yard games? You know what I mean? Was Wilson also stinging teams with play action bombs and just ending games? That's not Geno Smith. It's not just the statistical amounts of the yards. It's how they come. I feel you, brother, though. That's real. That's real. We don't need to do that to win. We don't need a 400-yard. We don't need Patrick Mahomes' yardage to win. I just think we need some clutch plays to be made to win and ball security. But Geno can hit the middle of the field and tight ends and shorter stuff more consistently than Russell Wilson. And that plays into a Waldron offense more than it did the Wilson offense. So here we are. Yeah, Mr. Griffin brothers for sure. Such cool people. Geno, but Shaq just could never get his head around enough. As good as he is in coverage. Geno 17 for 18 in the first half. Yeah, he was almost perfect. It was unheard of. You know what I mean? In the first half. Pete is known for being a DB guru. Pete is the DB guru. Like, he's not known for it. Like, Pete Carroll is the greatest secondary coach of all time and will always be. He created a freaking Voltron out of nearly undrafted guys. Earl Thomas was a really high pick, but outside of that, Cam Chancellor wasn't seen as being able to play in coverage. Richard Sherman was, a written off 5th round pick from Stanford that was too slow. You know what I mean? He found Maxwell. He found all these guys. Brown. He found tons of guys. Browners was in the CFL. He's done it again. Tariq Woolen, Kobe Bryant, these guys Tariq Woolen, I almost understand why he went so far down, like because he's at USTA or University of Texas San Antonio, and he doesn't have a lot of experience, et cetera, et cetera. But Kobe Bryant was across from Sauce Gardner, targeted a million times, won the award for the best DB in school. How did they get him where they got him? Like, come on, man. Like I've been saying in my early videos, Pete and John, BPA wasn't even an option for them this year in the draft because it was so obvious. They were just like, you're going to leave us Charles Cross? Okay. Ding. You're going to leave us Boye Mafe? Cool. Ding. They're like, Ken Walker's still on the board. Pete's like, probably like, what? Ding. It was easy for these guys. Like, what were these other FOs thinking, man? They're like, then it gets into the deeper rounds. They're just like, oh, Tariq Woolen. They're like, what's his, is he a good kid? They're like, yeah. They're like, what's his measurables? They're like, he's 6'4". He's a better athlete than DK Metcalf. Pete's like, ding. Feel me? It was easy for these guys, man. That was an easy draft. Next year's the one where they're going to have to make decisions if they're going to take a quarterback before more dynamic defensive players. And I think they might not take a quarterback right away because it's such a deep class. They can get a safety. They can get a D lineman, interior lineman. There's a lot of crazy ones. They can do a lot of things there, man. Receiver. LOB got turnovers and 3 and outs to give Wilson more chances. Look, it will forever be a team sport. I give the LOB and I give that defense all the credit in the world for making us so dominant. And that's no stranger. Like it's no miracle that we're trying to do that again and not put it all in a quarterback to win the championships. Peyton Manning, all these guys have proven over and over. Like if you can just control the game, you can win a Super Bowl, right? But you need a quarterback that can make clutch plays, even if it's just 2 or 3 plays. It has to be the play that no one expected, whether it's standing in, taking the hit, throwing the ball, DK Metcalf, just something like that. It went hand in hand. And I'm never going to say that it was solely DK or solely the Seahawks defense that won us the Super Bowl. We had offense too. We had players like Curse just making insane plays. Doug, it was a complete team effort, but the defense was crazy dominant for sure. I just hate that we can't finish the game even with the lead. Titans last. Yes, that's been the thorn in the side for like a few seasons, hasn't it not? Sajin, great point. It's like anytime we have like a 10-point lead in the fourth, we never feel safe. It's like because we've been putting our foot on the brakes in the second half and taking the leads and saying, let's just not break. We need to start attacking again like we did back in the day, getting the turnovers and burying teams. That's what we need to do if we're going to get back to dominance. Do we have a full roster to do that all year long right now? I'm not 100% sure. I know we have the talent to surprise some teams, and we are going to see that happen early and often in the season. Yeah, so we're definitely going to draft a QB. I've got a video on that. I think it's starting to come to fruition a bit, that video. I still have Will Levis as my QB1, but there's tons of guys. Van Dyke is looking good. There's a lot of players that I really think Seattle will target at quarterback in this upcoming draft. CJ Stroud, Bryce Young, I think those are kind of the obvious guys, but I think Seattle might just take a stab at a generational defensive player and look for a Will Levis or that type of player with their next pick, if possible, even if they have to trade up some capital in the middle rounds. We need a pro-ready QB next year. Pro-ready to me means just strong, able-minded. I love Anthony Richardson, but is he ready to be a pro right now? I don't think so. I think he's he's a dynamic athlete and could be like the best one in the future. But I agree, we need somebody who's more game ready for sure. KJ Jefferson is always left out for some reason. I can't leave him out, man. I've watched, the more film I watch on KJ Jefferson, the more I realize that kid could be just a unicorn. You know what I mean? Something about his body type bugs me, just in the fact that I'm not sure he can stay healthy running like that in the NFL, but he's just a gamer and he's playing tough competition. I know he's just at Arkansas and I know he had Treylon Burks, but I like that he had Treylon Burks because we have Metcalf, similar styles. I do like him. If he's someone we can pick up, I'm high on him. Great call, pardon me, Sajent. Thoughts on Ryan Neal? I love Ryan Neal. We talked about him earlier here, Lou. Ryan Neal, tenacious, knows the defense, is a spark plug off the bench. for what he gives up, he gives you back. For the completions that he gives up due to lack of athleticism, Ryan Neal gives you fire. And this team needs fire to win. And we had fire against the Denver Broncos. That's why we won. Not because the Broncos fumbled or Russ underachieved. We won because we played harder than the Denver Broncos. And that's what we're going to have to do today to win. And that's what we're going to have to do all year in every game, even when we have an elite quarterback. Seahawks football is about more than just X's and O's. It's about playing with passion and competing when you're down and you feel it's impossible to win a game. That's what Pete Carroll does. He brings players up and says, guys, we're in every game as long as we play hard and we do our thing and we believe in ourselves. And that's what it's about. And that's why I love Seahawks. And I felt that energy forever. Okay, the OC, I got to calm down. The OC Bevel was the one who was responsible for Wilson's rookie year's success by planning games plan to what Wilson was capable of. Waldron is only in his second year, still in question, but Waldron is his second year here. He was able to do good things with Jared Goff, who clearly didn't have the talent level as Wilson. So I'm confident that we can bring in another quarterback that is at least at Goff's level. And if that quarterback is an elite type of prospect and can pick up an offense like this, they can mix up what Russ was able to do with what Shane was able to do, but still have an identity with marquee running backs. And in play action, you're adding to DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, D. Eskridge, Noah Fant, Will Dissly, Kobe Parkinson, Ken Walker III, Rashard Penny, massive O-line. You're adding to that. You add another star receiver to that with a crazy running back. Good boy. Then it's like Seattle is the bottom of the division to next year like Seattle is scary as hell. Come on, guys. Let's be real about this stuff. These guys, these front offices, Carroll, Snyder, they know what they're doing. They know they didn't hit on a bunch of drafts in the last few years. They know they missed. It's a lottery. It's a crapshoot. You just try to get as good players as you can. It doesn't always work out. Guys get hurt. Rashard Penny was hurt. Everybody wrote him off. Carroll's like, dude, I've seen this kid run. He's insane. I'm not throwing him away. Look at you now. Look at people now. They're like, oh my gosh, who is Rashard Penny? Other teams are like, they don't even look at, other fans are like, Rashard Penny, he doesn't play football. Dude, he was outrunning Jonathan Taylor last year with a worse O-line than today. You better watch this stuff, guys. I'm a Seahawks fan, so I study every team in the NFL, so I understand how my team can work, and I can provide you guys better content and provide you guys general knowledge of the sport. So if you come here from any fan base, you can see that I understand what's happening with your team as well as my team. Maybe not as a deep level as you as a fan of your team, but I understand what's going on. He's got grit. Yes, Ryan Neal has grit. Penix played good last night. Yeah, for sure. Love the positivity, Lou. Yeah, that's just who I am. Always believe, man, till the clock is out. That's it, man. How many of those classic traditional Seahawks games were won at the buzzer? You know what I mean? And there will be many more. That's just how we play football. Always believe, man. Yeah, believe till it hits zero. You got it. We just keep going until, play through the snap. And I will say this about that Denver Broncos game. I saw the Seahawks playing through snaps like I haven't in over 3 seasons. They were playing through whistles. They were playing through every single thing. And it really pumped me up, man. And I was proud of that team, win or lose in that game. No matter how dominant Seahawks are, the league is going to put us at the bottom of the league. I find that laughable when we prove it otherwise. It's classic. We were always that way. We've always been the underdog. We're a small market team. The narrative will always be that. If we go up against a 3 and whatever, a Giants team that has, more losses than wins, they'll still be favored towards us because we're the Seahawks, baby. And it is what it is. You see this right here? That's a Seahawks thing. So if you're joining us, just know what the channel is. All right. So you guys don't have to, but just for the purposes of seeing if this even works, can somebody try to send like a $2 super chat? I'm not trying to collect big bills. I just want to see if it works for the future. If you don't mind, send like a $2.74 super chat for anybody that sends a super chat. I'm going to play a banjo song for them real quick. This is going to be the Hawk banjo. When we do big things and we come out and teams have to eat crow, we're gonna have to get busy with this. But yeah, just try it, man. Just want to see if it works at all. Anyways, big underdogs this year. Yeah, we are big under $5 from Roxanne. This rock. Give me a Roxanne. You don't have to put on a red light, Roxanne. Shout outs to you, Roxanne. Thank you so much. Oh, Valerie with the super. Valerie McDougal with the $2 super. Thank you so much. It works, everybody. I really appreciate that. That's getting the Yamaha. That's getting the ukulele. Where's my Hawaiian folks at? I can't play nothing. Daddy Fat Sacks with the super. We're going to go like like slash, like, sweet child of mine. I'm having too much fun, people. Thank you so much for the super chats. It works, everybody. I honestly just wanted to see if it did work. I do not expect you guys to contribute financially to this in any way, because it's not about that. I'm just doing this to get, just to get our community going and have a place to go. Because you guys, let's face it, man. We got lots of channels out there. What do we got? Brandon Nelson. I love that. I love the Hawks Nest. Rob Stanton, as grumpy as he is, he breaks down football really well. I can't believe that guy's from London. There's Maddie F. Brown. There's so many cool channels out there. They all do different stuff. Mine is just to be crazy and talk about football in a very unique way, in a forum in which we can discuss the sport in a way that we can just have such a good time, And I love all those guys, and shout outs to all those channels and what they're doing, and I support them too. I go on there too and drop my piece, Hawks Nest is great. Yeah, I really like him, man. He's super cool and smart and streams a lot, man. Like, man, they got streams for like hours and hours. Top billing is crazy, man. That guy's awesome. And I love how he's from like Maryland, and he took to the Seahawks fan base and just does X's and O's for us, because he just really like understands how passionate we are. But yeah, he's really funny. He's just like Geno Smith is a dog. Yo, drop me a tip. He's just a scary dude. Like, Top Billing is not the type of guy you want to like confront. Like, that guy actually played D-line somewhere. What an awesome dude. He knows football super rare. I know he's a Baltimore guy, right? Like, he's a Ravens guy. He's a DC area guy. Hawks Nest, I think, from Spokane. Guy's super cool. But yeah, 5-hour live streams with his cat. Like, I timed him once. I gave him a super chat, and I was like, what does your cat think about Trey Lance? Does your cat think he's overrated? And the cat literally was like, he was like, yes, my cat thinks Trey Lance is overrated. Gotta love the Seahawks community. Yeah, Top Billing does not mess around. He's like, dude is just out here taking names. He reminds me of like dude from Pulp Fiction, Marcellus Wallace. You know what I mean? What does Marcellus Wallace look like? That's Top Billing, man. You don't want to mess with him. He's awesome, man. Yeah, prison loving. Those Northeast dudes are crazy. It's like Virginia, DC type of guys. He's like, dude's just taking people's sandwich money and stuff. Like, they're on some church stuff. Yeah, Tom Billings is dope, man. I watch his stuff all the time. I love his breakdowns and like how low-key he gets excited about stuff. I just hope my channel one day can be on that level of community that guy started, man. Shout outs to him. Yakko, prison loving. Yeah, Paul Fixie's Marcellus Wallace, like, what does yeah, he's awesome. That guy just got fertilized. How he does the little X's and O's, like how he does the replays. What is a good comparison to Carson Palmer? Who is a good Carson Palmer? I don't want any comparisons to Carson Palmer on my team. I don't know. Van Dyke, I guess. No, Van Dyke seems to have like more upside than Palmer. I don't really know. That's interesting. Slept him is my favorite. Yeah, slept him. He's on autopilot. Like, yeah, dude. You said he slept, dude. Yeah, I don't know, Lou. You tell me, man. Yeah, good comparisons. Definitely don't want a Palmer. Exactly. I want someone that's a gamer, like that has fire inside of them to win a football game. You feel me? Like, that's more important to me than anything. Like, yes, the physical tools, the nature, but I don't want a guy that just wants to be a star player or, get the $250 million contract. I'm not calling out Russell or any of these guys because they play with fire. I want someone who plays with that tenacity. He said, "Splatile." We got phrases here. I got phrases on Seahawks time. But one thing that I always say is when we're really rolling and I'm like, watch out now. Like, I love that. Like the church, like she's like the lady in church, like, watch out now. Like the Holy Spirit, like, watch out now. That's gonna be. I'm gonna make sure to say that. Watch out now. It's gonna be a picture of like the Cam Chancellor advisor says, watch out now. I'm just stoked for Geno this year. Yes, I'm stoked that what he's doing. Alex Smith comps, don't need an Alex Smith either. I want Will Levis type of player. I haven't paid attention to the upcoming QBs. I got a video, Lou. If you subscribe to the channel, go look. I've got a video of the prospects I think Seattle will be looking at so far. That will adjust. I will get more into that later, like which teams I think are, or which players, as the year evolves, the NCAA season. Bryce Young, I really like. It's just the size for me. Like, I wouldn't be mad if we had Bryce Young because he's like, is Russell Wilson 2.0, has played against crazy competition. I have no doubts he could be dynamic. I want somebody a little bit more durable after I'm seeing these like Josh Allen type players just motor people down and win games. Spadaya, Jerome said. For real, I was rooting for him last year big time after the Rams game, for sure. Right on, I subscribed. I'll check it out. Thanks, Lou. I appreciate the subscription. That means a lot to me. I got a lot of content on here that is mostly Seahawks related, but gives us good insight into what the NFL is doing, where the sport is going. I like to be very diverse in my videos, so I encourage you guys to watch all like the videos all the way through because I do kind of put the narratives together in one piece, even though, I'm a master ranter. Maybe that's what I can be. I can be the best at ranting about football in the entire YouTube. I do not want a Russ 2.0. Yeah, we want a different type of player. You know what I mean? That's the thing. We want a player that accentuates where we're going as a team. Maybe they can have the mentality and the ice in their veins like a Wilson, but maybe just someone that's a crazy athlete with even more consistent spreading of the ball around ability. Maybe I could say I want a solid pocket passer with some wheels. Yeah, there you go. That's just it, Lou. That's it. UMag bro agrees with you. But guys, like it's all about the quarterback. It is the narrative, but we also need to get some. I love our defensive tackles. They're big run stopping guys. But if we had like a Jordan Davis type guy, if we have Aaron Donald type guy to complement that pass rushers we already have, like shout outs Puna, Monet, all those guys are really good. Shelby's getting older at the push. If we have somebody that can get under there and they get to the QB beside Darrell Taylor, boy, man, and I know Pete's eyeballing that. Let's look at that maybe first. You know what I mean? Detroit is giving it to Washington. I had the Lions being really good this year. I bet somebody that the Lions won 10 games this year. I made a bet to somebody the Lions win 10 plus. They're that crazy on offense. So that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Sorry, I'm just checking my phone a little bit here. Yeah, man, it's going to be a really interesting season here in the NFL because a lot of the narratives will be shattered after week 4, as they always are. You never know exactly who's going to come out and dominate. You could. It's all peaches and cream until the lights come on. Good to be able to pick up first downs on foot if needed. Yes, maybe not as kamikaze as Josh Allen, but if they're as strong as a Josh Allen, sure. If we could have picked up Roquan somehow from Chicago, I would have flipped. He is going to be the future Hall of Famer, man. Lou Allen, I think that's still on the table at the trade deadline. I don't know. Did they sign him? I don't know what happened there. I got to look at that. Good call. I like Roquan Smith fitting as a Seahawks player. Linebacker there. We will be drafting behind Barton for sure. We need a will. You know what I mean? We need someone faster than KJ Wright. KJ Wright was awesome always, but at the tail end of his career, you can see Bobby and KJ slowing down a little bit. So, so he did sign. Yeah, and I just don't think they were willing to, with this team, spend the capital to pay Roquan Smith a marquee contract when you still have to pay Jordan Brooks. So we're going to find that player organically. But great point. We need that kind of player. He's a freak. I like Barton, but I've seen, for sure. Barton is an awesome energy player, but lacks in some of the lateral speed and gets washed in the run game a bit, even though his energy is high. He's not a liability for energy. Barton does have a little bit of issues in the run, and but I love him, and I think he's going to make plays for us. Shout out to Cody Barton, man. Glad we didn't see didn't get Mayfield. Unimpressed. Yeah, and I had a whole videos, like my channel almost started blowing up, or did blow up a little bit by me saying we're not going to get Mayfield, we're not going to get Garoppolo. Everyone's like, you're crazy, man. We need to get those guys. I'm like, why? You know what I mean? How much are they an upgrade of what we have already? And you're absolutely right, Valerie. And we did it. He's a freak. I like okay. Will Levis had an OC from the Rams last year, so he has already an idea of the system. Wow, that's an excellent point. Will Levis is just a tenacious dog. He's pro ready to me. I think he's a guy that can be better in the NFL than he is in the NCAA. I mean, he's just really crazy. They don't serve baker's dozens in Seattle. That's mean. um, Barton's surprised because he's a good player. Barton was highly touted out of Utah. A really good linebacker. It's sad that Blair didn't make it, but that defense, they have good linebackers, good secondary. He said, why? Anyways, man, this is going really well, man. We're an hour and 30 in. I had some technical difficulties way earlier, but still got 14 of y'all in here. We've had as high as 20 people in here. And I think this channel is just going to keep growing. Share it with your friends. Let them know we do this on Sunday mornings. During the 10 a.m. games when Seattle plays, it'll be tricky, but I'll do it before all the 1 p.m. games for sure. Maybe even live stream the games as we watch them. Even when we wanted Deshaun, I was like, no, we will have to pay for him. Hey, Parker Hansen with the super. Thank you, bro. Parker, thank you so much. Parker with the $5 super chat. I love you too, dog. You better believe it. This is a Seahawks thing. It's a family affair up in here. And that means a lot to me, man. The banjo comes out on the supers. I'm actually gonna learn how to play it, but for now, I'm gonna just one day if we win the Super Bowl, I'm gonna Kurt Cobain this thing on live. Okay, when we win the Super Bowl again, this thing will get sacrificed to the football gods. I will Kurt Cobain this thing. Bow. It's a ukulele. I'm not sure exactly what. It's a Mahalo. It's a Yamaha Mahalo. You know what I'm saying? So if you see it up there. It's Mahalo edition for our Hawaiians out there, man. Shout outs Hawaii, shout outs Samoa, shout outs all of that area, man. You saw it's love out there. Yes, it is either of those things. But yeah, Seahawks Times is going super well. Thanks to you guys. If you're not subscribed to the Seahawks Times YouTube channel, I bring content at least as much as I can every day. And I do that for all NFL fans. But I want to be the Seahawks channel. I want to be where people go to find out what's good with the Seahawks, not annoying rumors or news or clickbait. I want it to be the nitty gritty about where we are as a team at all phases. It's a music. I'm a music. Oh yeah, Lou, you would know what it is, man. I'm clearly not a musician. I'll tell you what I am. I am a football nerd. I'm a family guy. I love people. I love being positive. I love, just trying to share and do the best I can to share positivity in a world that's got so many issues. But yeah, I also like sci-fi. You know what I mean? I was a jock though. I played a lot of sports in school, man. I was pretty good. But now as I'm a professional, I'm an older guy now. I'm a business professional now, family guy. I just told wifey, like, look, man, I'm gonna do this channel. Let's see how it goes, and it's going amazingly. I can't believe it. Actually, I'm getting so much love from people, and I think that's just because I'm just being myself, man. But yeah, what's going on in these games, man? Let me check some of the scores here. Let's get into some of the morning game rundowns. I'll give you guys some of the scores. So the Steelers down 10-3 to the Pats at the half. Steelers just can't get it going right there. They had QB confusion. How about our rooks? I love our rooks, bro. I got an entire video earlier on the channel. You'll love my channel, Lou. It's got all the answers for you, man. But not to shun you on that, man. Our rooks are amazing. I thought we had the best draft we've had since 2012. We have maybe not found a Wilson or Wagner, but we definitely have found franchise tackles and corners and maybe even more in this draft in pass rushing. So I love this draft. I think we by far had the best draft in the NFL, and it's going to be proven as this wears on here. The Lions just destroying the Commanders 22-0. Tennessee playing Buffalo later today. What else is going on? Tampa Bay, 3-0 for the Saints at the half. Damn, that's weird. What else is going on? Man, there's so many games going on, obviously. But let me focus on you guys. I've been a bit your stuff. I love it. Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you for watching it, whether you're subscribed or not. Thank you guys so much. I'm very grateful. Get tuned in and learn the C chord and then learn the strum and then go from there. Okay. That'll be a fun learning curve here. In my off time, I'll learn how to play this, and then I'm going to take like song requests a little bit. We're going to start with Twinkle Twinkle, and then we're going to get into like Smells Like Teen Spirit. Here we are now, entertain us. Let's go. I thought Lions would win for sure. I had Lions, and I didn't do my pick'ems this week because I wanted to stream instead. But in the future, I'll have pick'ems every morning. I'm watching Jets right now. My old man is a Jets fan and made me a Hawks fan back when I was in flag football. Jets, Jets. How can you be mad at the Jets? You know what I mean? They're just perpetually terrible. Like, you can't really hate on that team. It's just, it's like the Jets are like the Seahawks East without ever assembling a good team since Joe Namath. Straight up. It's like, to be a Jets fan is pain. You know what I mean? You can't be mad. It's like, they're playing in a conference with the Brady for like 20 years. Before that, they're just still the Jets. It's like, they had LaDainian in his twilight, but the Jets they just could never put it together. I do think that their team is looking good future-wise right now. They got a nice defense there. Garrett Wilson, they got awesome receivers. And the Cougar Slayer, if that's inappropriate. That's wrong. I shouldn't say that. But Zach Wilson is crazy. Hopefully he can be a marquee player for them. More questions, man. Fire away. This is the Seahawks Times. Thanks for tuning in. It's Wes here, aka Seahawktopmist Prime. As you can see, you're in my unfinished basement. Got this house a couple years ago, putting it all together how I want it to be over time here. But I am going to get a dope studio set up with cool lighting and all that stuff so we can have fun in a more enjoyable to watch and view atmosphere moving forward. The defense is solid and Sauce is looking. Yeah, Sauce looks good, man. I gotta say, I didn't know how he'd adjust right away, but he's just nasty, man. Sauce Gardner is awesome. How long has everyone been a Seahawks fan, man? Me since the late 80s, like 88, 89 was when it really started for me. That's not as long as some people, but I'm true. I've been in it a long time. I saw Cross was left without help during Denver. That's a big statement. That is. And it was the game we're on and he got tired. You could see Bradley was able to get to him, Chubb, but he still was like in him. Even though he got bull rushed, he still was kind of like in front of him a bit. So let's see if D. Lou makes a difference in that and they can, get better chips on Bosa. It was crazy. 1990